Hi, I'm Ken Kaplan, owner of Rockville Construction. I'd like to wish everybody involved on the project a happy anniversary. Today is April 26, 2014, Sunday, and it's 1 year ago today we started outside here with the cleanup of the project, and we've accomplished a lot in a year with a small amount of resources. We have a staff of 25 that's been full-time on the project, and with the amount of money and time we've had, we've accomplished a great deal here. We've completely refurbished Building 4, and now we're standing in Building 3. This building, Building 3, is arguably the most significant building on the property. This is the original mill building constructed in 1814. It is the only surviving wood post and beam mill building in Rockville. There were 13 buildings originally, and it survived in great part due to the construction. And if you look over here, I'll show you on the wall. It has, this is a post and beam building with brick, and the brick has, it's called slow burn technology. The original building, they had a fire here and it partially burned down, and when it was rebuilt with this slow burn technology. The bricks would actually keep the building from burning, or from the fire transmitting from one piece of wood to the other. So that's why I believe it's the, it has been on fire several times, but I believe that's the reason why it's the sole remaining building of 13 in Rockville. It's a very unique construction, very expensive and time consuming, and as you saw on that wall right there, the bricks, this one section right here of the restoration, this wall, there was an issue with the foundation and it had rotted, so we had to jack the building up, replace the foundation, and before we jacked the building up, all the bricks had to be removed. So you'll see that these bricks are look different than the other bricks in the building because they have, when they were put back in, a lot of them were put in backwards. You can see the ones with the white paint were put in the forward, and the other ones were put in backwards. Sometimes they were chipped, or there might have been issues or whatever, but in any event, we're not painting the brick in the building. We're leaving it the way it is because it has a fine patina or finish that can only be accomplished through multiple coats of paint over centuries, 2 centuries this building's been here. So it's an awesome building. It's huge. It's 35 feet wide. It's a football field long, and if you pan down, you can see it's a massive building. It's 4 stories tall. We are in the 4th floor of this building right now, and this is the area that we wanted to talk about today because we have an issue. If you pan down to where the flooring starts right there, that's 90 feet in. At that point, this building was built 200 years ago, and the fire codes for egress and everything have changed quite a bit. So as of now, that space from here forward is not usable. The town building officials are requiring us to seal this space off, and it really is a shame that we have to do that and it's not usable, but I think we can make some lemonade out of the lemons here. We've put a great deal of work into this space. If you look, this is one of the original 200-year-old wood windows that we painstakingly restored. It was our staff of, we had a staff of 6 work for 3 weeks on just restoring the windows in this area here. There's a total of 29 of these windows. And if you look, I don't know if it shows up on the video, but you can see the leaded glass has like a wavy shape to it. It can't be duplicated with modern glass. And the window manufacturer told me that the new windows only last maybe 30 years. Because the wood isn't the quality of the old wood, and these just came out fantastic. I'm real proud of the result that the team came out with. But basically, this space would be sealed off. These 29 windows that we restored would not be seen, and I don't know if you can see in the video, but the beams are absolutely gorgeous. The post and beam structure that it rises up from the 3rd floor. It's 23 feet from the 3rd floor up to the eave, and this floor it's 16 feet from the floor to the ceiling. So this is a really cool space. It's a shame that it has to be sealed off. But the building official, when he was here, we have bi-weekly meetings here with the zoning officers, the building officers, the fire marshal, our construction managers, and our team leaders. And we meet with them and we talk about the different issues we're having here. And one of them came up with a great idea to remove the floor from this space. So what we want to do is just remove the flooring. There's, in this section, this 90 foot, all it is a floorboard. And if you pan over here, I can show you what I'm talking about. Over here, you'll see that it's a simple 1 layer, 5/8 in, 5/4, so it's 1 1/8 floorboard. There's no flooring on top of it, it's just a floorboard and floor joist. That's the subject that we wanted to talk about removing. Not the entire floor, just the center section. That we would leave an 8-foot balcony on this end over here, which is one column. These columns are 8 feet wide. So we'd leave one balcony on that end, and on that end we'd leave 2-column balconies. So there'd be a 16-foot balcony over there. This space is going to be the future home of the New England Motorcycle Museum. So it's really important that the space is attractive and a good spot for displaying priceless antique motorcycles. So the other thing we want to do is after you skip over each window, so that you have a balcony here, this would be, the flooring would be taken out here. Over every second window we leave 3 floor joists out, 4 foot out, so we could display a motorcycle in front of the window, which would be awesome. It would be a great venue for displaying the motorcycles. So really important that we're able to do this, because one, there's a great deal of work went into restoring this space here. The space also needs to be, in order to get our certificate of occupancy, we need to have a sprinkler system in here, and it has to be heated because it's a water sprinkler system. The pipes are free, so we have to heat this massive space, and to have it sealed off and not used is just counterproductive. If we can remove the flooring, then we only need to sprinkler the 4th floor, because the 3rd floor underneath it will receive the benefit of those sprinklers. So we'll save about 50% on our sprinkler system, 50% on our heating system, and also our ongoing energy costs will be much less. Why? Well, if you see, there's no lights on in this building today, and back when this building was built in 1814, they really didn't use electricity, to my knowledge, to light buildings. They worked during the daytime and slept at night. So all these 29 windows that I'm talking about here are going to be providing natural light and also heat from solar gain. Check this out. I wanted to show you a different view of this room. We were looking the long way down. This is the wall that was right behind the camera. This is the original paint job from originally 1814, and there's multiple layers of paint that were flaking off, and we just scraped off the flaking paint, and we are not going to paint these walls because they look awesome. I got that idea from Mass Mocha. We went up and took a look at their museum, because they're probably, arguably, the best adaptive reuse project for a mill that's similar to the one we're doing here. They opened a museum of art, modern art, and also a tech center there, and we happen to be opening a museum of motorcycles as art, which is the most successful display that they had at the Guggenheim Museum in New York City ever, was the motorcycle as art. So there's a calling for that. We have over 6 collectors with 200 motorcycles that are going to be bringing their collections here, and the environment, it has to look spectacular and original. We don't want it to look like a restored, we don't want to paint everything. We want to leave some of the patina the way it was. So there you have it. This brick looks, you can see some of the original brick poking through, and the multiple layers of paint. There's probably 4 different colors of paint on this wall. It looks amazing. Combined with the wood trim and the hardware. We added a couple of, this is actually a brass plant hanger that we installed on a black hook, but that's a new addition, but it's going to look really amazing. It does look really amazing up here. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was in regards to opening this space up. It'd be a shame to not have these walls and these windows that were painstakingly restored viewable. So we really want to open this up so the public can enjoy this and make this part of the museum. We had a structural engineer evaluate the building, and he thought it was a great idea to do this, and he approved it and did all the engineering so that this won't affect the structure at all. Again, it's only floorboards and floor joists. It's easily reversible if you ever wanted to put them back for whatever reason. The other thing I wanted to add is that we applied for a permit with the town of Vernon, who's on board with us doing that, and we have the permit in hand. We have the engineering report, so we're ready to go with this. But we got to make sure that it meets SHPO's standards and is approved. So we're going to go downstairs and we'll take a view from the 3rd floor, and we'll show you what we're talking about from down there. Okay, so here we are on the 3rd floor. We're directly underneath the space we were just filming upstairs, the space that's going to be permanently sealed off and not viewable by the public, which I think would be a travesty. You saw how beautiful the beams are and the brickwork and the cathedral ceiling and the 29 windows we restored. When you're in this space, if we can remove these floor joists and the floorboards, it's going to open all that up, allow that light from the windows to flood in, and make this space, this is a 7-foot 4-inch ceiling height right here. If you're over 6 feet tall, I mean, I'm touching the ceiling like this. If you're over 6 feet tall, you feel like you have to duck walking through here. I don't know if the camera really, if you can really appreciate it, but 50% of the people that walk into this room, the first thing they say is, wow, the ceiling's low. Matter of fact, the building official from the town of Vernon, whose idea it was to remove the floor, said, before we came up here, he goes, what are you going to do with the floor that has a really low ceilings in it? So that combined with the fact that the upstairs is sealed off, not usable, he came up with the idea of removing this floor. I think it's a great idea. And at this point, the building official, zoning official, fire marshal, the engineers signed off on the report, and we have a permit from the building department to do it. So everybody's on board. The Economic Development Commissioner, Sean Gately, thinks it's a great idea. All the people on the team, our construction manager, Pete Lofstrom, everybody thinks it's the best way to solve this issue. I believe Tim Sullivan, the director of the state of Connecticut Economic Development Commission, he thinks that he was here. He thought it was a good idea. Lilia Kiltika, who's managing our program, she thinks it's a good idea. So we're all on board. Everybody thinks this should be done. And let me show you what the space relationship is. We'll pan over to here and we'll take a look. Here we are on the 3rd floor, and we're going to show you the spatial relationship between the 3rd and 4th floor as we pan up, and we'll show you where we were just standing up there. You see that's the east side of the building, and you can see the post and beam and brick construction. And if you pan down the west side, you can see what you'll see. And if you bring the camera down, then you can see the relationship with the two spaces, how it's all going to work. The stepping stool that you see down there, that is the spot that's about 90 feet from the east wall to there. That's the extent that we want to remove the floorboard and ceiling joists only from. As you can see, it's 90 feet. We'll have a 16-foot balcony on the west end, an 8-foot balcony on the east end, and then over every other window would have a 4-foot balcony. So it's actually 2,400 square foot of ceiling space that we wanted to remove, and that makes this entire 20,000 square foot, the 3rd and 4th floor tie in together and look amazing. We're really only modifying 2,400 square foot of the building. It's a 40,000 square foot building. We have almost 200,000 square foot of space to retrofit in the mill here. So yeah, it's coming along really great, and this will really make this space work as a museum. In 1814, people were a lot shorter than they are today. This is a ceiling height right here, 7'3". Some of them are 7'2", some are 7'4", which wouldn't be that bad in a small room, but with a football field long room, it leaves the visitor feeling like they're in a confined space. That's like the building needs to breathe, if you will, yeah, it isn't conducive for a museum space like it is. At least 50% of the visitors that come here comment on how low the ceiling is. We can change all that just by removing these floorboards and joists. We can expose the upper level and all the grandiosity of the post and beam infrastructure, and it really will make this space work. The other thing I'd like to add is that this internal removing of the floorboards and floor joists will not affect the exterior of the building whatsoever. It will retain the original historic appearance from the outside, and to the visitor who comes in, this won't look like a modification the way we're going to do it. It's going to look like it was meant to be built this way. The amount of space that we're going to modify in this building is less than 6% of the whole entire building and less than 1.5% of the entire project, and it makes the whole thing work. So removing the flooring is a logical, non-permanent, non-structural modification that really makes this space work, especially for its intended use as a museum. The ceiling above in the cathedral ceiling would be sheetrocked, and we'd also add 2 paddle fans for air circulation, and also we'd put track lighting on the beams so light up the space. It's going to be really absolutely beautiful. People are going to say wow when they come in here. This is the entryway from building 4 across the bridge to building 3, and as the entryway, this is the entryway into the museum. We want it to really make a statement. We want people to walk in and go, wow, this is awesome. And right now, with the low ceiling height and the blocked off 4th floor, we lose a lot of the potential of the space. So the success of this museum depends on people wanting to come back through social media, online, through TV, newspapers, word of mouth. People are going to talk about the place when it's open, and first impressions are important. At Mass MoCA, their entryway is spectacular. What they did there, and we're not going to modify anything else on this floor. The original brick structures will all be showing. Minimum intrusion on the building to accomplish this, and it will really make the difference between this working and not. And this is phase one. These first 4 buildings, buildings 1 through 4, the success of those, the rest of the project depends on the success of phase 1. Phase 2 and phase 3 for the other remaining 150,000 square foot is dependent on us being successful financially with this first phase. And financial success depends on people coming back, and the other businesses that are going to be in this building, the restaurant, the tech center, the motorcycle repair shop, the other businesses that are in here are going to be dependent on the overall quality of the conversion, how well people respond to it, and the type of reviews we get online and Google and so forth. So we really have to do this right. And right now, the space, when you walk in, it feels funny. It doesn't work. These modifications that we're talking about will make it work, and it'll be awesome. So at this point, we ask that after careful consideration of all the facts, we hope that we get a favorable decision from SHPO to allow the removal of the floorboards and floor joists and make this space the amazing spot that it has the potential to be. As far as the financial success of the project goes, a big part of that is the state and federal tax credits. The SHPO, State of Connecticut SHPO, State Historic Parks Organization, has already issued us a up to $1 million tax credit we're eligible for, has been approved for these first 4 buildings, and it's absolutely critical that these buildings achieve certified historic status in order to remain eligible for that. So we don't want to make any changes here that are not approved by SHPO. That's why we're doing this video, in hopes that after careful consideration that Julie Carmelik and her team at SHPO will approve this small modification to the building. In consideration of all the facts we presented here, we really appreciate your ongoing support and your helping us create this landmark destination that this building has the opportunity to become as the New England Motorcycle Museum. I believe it will be a site, a pilgrimage site, where motorcyclists and people who view the motorcycle as art will come here for generations to come. We just have to do this, get it done, pull together as a team. Thank you.